This is a deep dive podcast covering articles published on Ecogate's blog, brought to you by Ecogate, the leader in intelligent industrial
Dust
ventilation.
collection, it runs all day. Burning white, blowing cash away. Dust collection, dust settles in the main. Because I forgot to open the gate. No more. Turn your airflow into cash
Carbon capture,
flow.
it's absolutely critical in tackling climate change. And Svante Technologies, they're a big name, a global leader, right? They've got this R&D lab in Burnaby, BC, working on some really advanced filter tech. But here's the interesting part. Even super advanced labs like Svante has run into, well, pretty fundamental industrial challenges, like managing dust. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Today we're doing a deep dive into how Svante got their lab environment just right for their sensitive research. We're talking noise, energy, and crucially, safety, and how an innovative solution helped them tackle all of it. Our mission here is to pull out the key insights from an Ecogate blog post about their installation at the Svante Carbon Capture Lab. So picture this lab. They're designing and testing materials that literally capture carbon. I mean, that work has got to generate some dust, right? Svante needed to keep experiments totally undisturbed, air quality perfect, noise way down. But the usual dust collection systems, they apparently had some major drawbacks.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how those typical systems weren't just, say, noisy or inefficient. They actually created significant safety risks. When people manually closed off collection points trying to manage airflow, it often dropped below what we call safe transport velocities.
Oh, okay. And that's the minimum speed needed to keep the dust moving through the ducts.
Exactly. If the air moves too slow, the dust settles out inside the ductwork. And that settled dust, it dramatically increases the risk of fire, potentially explosions, and even contamination of their research. Not good. So Svante really needed something that hit all the marks. Stringent safety, very precise environmental control, and of course, cost efficiency.
That sounds like a tough balance to strike. So how did they solve it? This is where Ecogate comes in, right? With their on-demand control system, managed by something called the Greenbox NXT.
That's right. The Greenbox NXT is essentially the brain of the system. It's pretty smart technology. It automatically adjusts the main fan speed based on exactly which workstations need dust collection at any given moment. So only the collection points, or gates, that are actually in use are open. But here's the critical part. It always maintains those minimum safe transport air velocities throughout the entire duct network, no matter how many or few stations are running.
Always maintaining that minimum speed, that sounds key.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable for safety, as we said, but it also impacts the quality and reliability of the research itself, which is obviously paramount for Svante. And to make this happen, Ecogate uses a few key components. There's the Greenbox NXT, the central controller, handling, I think, up to 75 gates and adjusting the fan speed. Then you have their Butterfly Smart Gates. These provide a really airtight seal when closed, but they also measure airflow accurately. That's crucial for that fine-tuned control. And some of these gates, when they're fitted with what Ecogate calls precision airflow motors, can actually function as adjustable bleed gates. Plus, you've got things like movable extraction arms and simple wall switches for the lab staff to control collection right where they need it.
Okay, hold on. That term bleed gates, that sounds particularly interesting for a sensitive lab environment. Why are they so critical there?
Right. Well, think about maintaining that duct velocity we keep talking about. It's essential to stop dust settling. Now, in maybe a standard workshop, if you need more airflow to keep velocity up when only one machine is running, you might just open a few extra gates somewhere else.
Okay, just dump some air into the system.
Yeah, but you can't really do that in a high-tech lab. Opening extra points inside the lab, that disturbs the experiments, right?
Yeah.
It messes with carefully controlled air pressures. It puts extra load on the HVAC, makes more noise. It's just not workable.
Ah, I see. That makes sense.
So Ecogate's adjustable bleed gates offer a really elegant solution. They pull in outside air directly into the ductwork before the main filter. This maintains the required airflow and velocity in the main duct without disturbing the lab's internal environment. It preserves room pressure, avoids wasting conditioned air, and they adjust automatically. If only one collection point is open, maybe the bleed gate opens fully. As more collection points open, the bleed gate closes proportionally to keep that velocity just right.
Okay, that is clever. So pulling it all together, what did this mean for Svante in practice? What were the results?
The results were pretty impressive, matching what Ecogate has seen in other demanding labs, like GlaxoSmithKline, for instance. Svante saw significantly lower noise levels, huge for a research environment.
Definitely.
They could also size their HVAC equipment more appropriately, saving energy there too, because the dust collector wasn't constantly pulling conditioned air out of the lab unnecessarily. And, crucially, they achieved full safety compliance because that minimum transport velocity was always maintained. No guesswork, no manual adjustments compromising safety.
So lower noise, less energy waste, better safety. Sounds like a win-win-win.
It really was, and it led to a rapid return on investment for them.
Yeah.
It shows you don't necessarily have to make trade-offs between, say, operational cost and safety or research integrity.
Right. It demonstrates how these smart on-demand systems can genuinely transform these kinds of industrial environments, making them safer, quieter, more efficient.
Exactly. It's about using technology smartly to meet really complex needs without having to compromise on those critical factors.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Beyond just dust collection, what other industrial systems, what other processes out there could benefit from this kind of precise on-demand control? Reducing waste, boosting safety, improving efficiency. Definitely something to mull over until our next deep dive.